Hello, and welcome back to Project Filmography. The early 1920s were when movies started to dream big. Filmmakers weren't just capturing stories anymore, they were testing what films could do. Every cut, every stunt, every camera movement felt like uncharted territory. Watching these 5 films from 1923 to 1925, Safety Last, The Last Laugh, Sherlock Jr., The Thief of Bagdad, and Battleship Potemkin, you can almost feel cinema realizing its own potential for the first time. I've always loved how Safety Last from 1923 begins with such simple intentions, just a boy trying to make it in the city, and ends with Harold Lloyd clinging to a clock hundreds of feet above the street. He's trying to impress his boss, his girlfriend, and maybe prove something to himself. I like that it's both funny and terrifying, a mix of ambition and fear that feels so human. Watching it, I always feel a rush of how far can he go before he falls? It's comedy, but it's also a snapshot of 1920s mindset. All risk, no safety net. Then, in 1924, F.W. Murnau gives us The Last Laugh, which might be the most empathetic film I've ever seen. Emil Jannings plays a hotel doorman who loses his job, and his pride, when he's too old to carry luggage. I love how Murnau tells the story without intertitles, just faces and movement. You can feel the loss before you even understand it. I like that it's about dignity, not wealth, not success, just the quiet power of being respected. And the camera feels alive, floating, spinning, grieving with him. It's visual emotion, pure and raw. That same year, Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr. is where the dream of cinema becomes literal. He plays a shy projectionist who falls asleep and steps into the movie he's projecting. I love how Keaton uses editing and timing to turn imagination into reality, jumping between scenes, solving mysteries, and moving seamlessly through the screen. What I like most is that it's about wanting to live inside the movies we love. When I watch it, I feel that same wonder, that wish to disappear into the story for just a moment. It's also a great representation of what going to the movies was like in the 1920s. In The Thief of Bagdad, also from 1924, Douglas Fairbanks plays a thief who falls in love with a princess and has to complete impossible trials to win her heart. The sets are enormous: palaces, monsters, towns, all handcrafted. I love how it mixes adventure with imagination. Fairbanks moves with such grace, he feels like an early superhero. Watching it today, you can see echoes of Disney's Aladdin everywhere. The genie-like magic, the street-smart hero, even the magic carpet ride. But what I like most about it is how hopeful it feels, that courage and cleverness can change your fate. And then, in 1925, there's Battleship Potemkin, where Sergei Eisenstein turned editing into revolution. It dramatizes a 1905 naval mutiny, building emotion through rhythm and montage. The Odessa Steps sequence, soldiers firing on civilians, a baby carriage tumbling down, is one of cinema's most famous moments. I love how the chaos feels organized, almost musical. What strikes me is how its spirit lives on. That same sense of outrage and tragedy echoes decades later in Dr. Zhivago, another story of the Russian Revolution, but told through love instead of ideology. Both films feel like history in motion, one fueled by anger and the other by heartbreak. What I love about these 5 films is how different they are. One dares, one mourns, one dreams, one enchants, and one revolts. Together, they mark the moment cinema learned not just to move, but to mean something. The 1920s weren't silent, they were the sound of a new art form finding its voice. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Project Filmography, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!